5, 4, 3.
You make me think of Rick James. I like that. So, yo, that's it. We are back. Michael Anthony Joseph. And I'm not doing any editing. So, yes, I was complimenting the producer. You know, he got the whole Rick James thing going. But anyway, you're back with me on the making of a star. Yes, I'm still here. I still have the show. You know what I'm saying? Hope you guys caught the last one and catch the next one. So anyway, I got one of my this guy's family. He's family. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the actors that made me teach because when he came through, he became my student, and it made me get into teaching. You know, there's like certain students that make you want to do what you do. You know, it's not just about the money. It's like it was really fun to see him get better and better. You know what I'm saying? We was going in. I gave him some hard stuff to do too. Right? My man Juan in the house.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on the show.
Juan Ortiz.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be happy when you come on the show and do some acting. You know what I mean? Like, come on the show and like let's hit the big studio. You can hear a pin drop. No comment.
No, I'm here, man.
You'll come on the show and do a monologue.
I don't know. I don't know. That's fine. I'm not really like. Depends.
What are you working on now? Juan? What are you working on?
Uh,
The basics of a show is where you been,
all
where
right.
you at,
Well,
and where you going.
right now I'm producing and working on directing a project called The Contract. It's a short. I was just filming last week. I'm not done filming that. Uh, I have another project on post production. Gunmetal Ghosts.
Hmm.
And a few other shorts that I'm working on that I've been writing and casting and pretty much producing and directing myself. I have another project that's supposed to be coming out soon called No Cure, directed and written by my boy Ricky Rick. So, got a few things lined up and just, writing, working, and creating. So, those are the few things I got. Not to name everything, but that's a few stuff I'm working on right now.
So I was like, yeah, okay, happy to bring you on the show to do the show because I normally don't even be here this time. I
Yeah.
be here at night. I come at 6. But yeah, I was like, yeah. I said, yeah, I should ask Juan to do his resume because you've been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you probably don't want to get up in on here and call off your
No, no,
everything you've
I
been
don't want to
on.
mention everything, but that's a few stuff that I'm working on. Like right now, like I was filming last week. Like I said, the project called the Contract, which is a short that I'm putting together. I put it together, casted some of the talent, and I'm kind of acting and directing in it. So I was filming last week out here in the city, and I'm supposed to be finish wrapping up the final scene soon. Somewhere in Connecticut, we'll be filming. So that's something I'm working on right now, and a few other stuff that I'm putting together.
So, you come on the show, right? And you bring me all the clips from every film, mini series, low budget film, YouTube. You've done a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
So, like, can you put a reel of a fly? Can we make a reel?
I mean, I have a reel. I'm working on updating my reel eventually, but I do have a reel.
The reel that you showed me, what I saw before.
Was
Did
it?
you update it since then?
No, but I'm gonna update it, but I haven't. But
Yeah.
I've been doing so much. I mean, it's just for
The
me.
reel that you have, right, is from actual jobs that you did.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm talking about, what I like to see. Well, I was talking about that too, putting everything you've done into one reel.
Hmm.
But I like to see, like for the making of a star, I want to show the different characters and then shoot them from scratch. You know, where the scene is really about you. You know, where you're the main character in each scene, but it shows the different sides: protagonist, antagonist, um, the victim, the hero. You know, to really show off your skills. But you ever think about like, because as I look at you and listen to you, all I think is all you need is a break. I really like and to be introduced to the right people. Like I could see you at the award shows. You know,
Yeah.
meeting the right people at the award shows.
Well, how I look at it, a break is a break, depending on what you look at. If you're saying a big break or some like, what is your standard of what you're trying to do? For me, it's all about just working and creating work. You know, doing what I love, being able to film. Um, I've been doing acting for 20 years, and I've learned from everybody that I worked with. Um, like I was able to go to California and do a project out there, and to go out there and work in Cali with people. Worked in a project called "How to Kill Your Coworkers and Get Away with It," and
Yo, you be working on some of the
so
coolest
it's like
titles.
I don't have an agent, I don't have a manager, but I always tell people out there, don't ever sit back and wait for someone to give you an opportunity. We're in the year 2025, not 1985, which now you have access to be able to go out there and make things happen for yourself. The resources are there. So I started acting in 2005 before social media like ever existed. There was no Instagram, none of that. So it's like I just went by like, okay, I did a project. My first project was Van Voice Park, which is an independent film. And 2005, I didn't know nothing about acting.
Mm-hmm.
I did that project, and when I did that project, again, no experience with acting. It was a project that was filmed in Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and when I did that, it was like, okay, I didn't know nothing about the business, so it was like, how do I get work? Wow, how else will I go from here? Because it was something given to me without me even, like, I wasn't looking to act. It was like nothing. It was just being at the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So once I did that, for like first 5 years after that, I didn't do no work because I was the person that was supposed to manage me at the time. You know, I kind of sat back and waited for that person to find work for me and get me work. And for 5 years, I didn't do nothing. So that's when I was like, you know what? If I really want to do this, I got to go out there and make my own moves. I can't sit back and expect somebody to give me an opportunity. I got to put myself out there. Not only that, learn the craft, become great at what I do, which is acting, and learn. So it's like I just, you know, kept going. Obviously, you was one of the people I met.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember you was one of the people I met back, I don't know how long at this point. It's like ancient time, but it's like I met you.
It's been like 10 years.
And I met you, no, it's longer than that. I met you in a casting.
It's been longer than 10 years?
Yeah, I met you in a casting through, I was on Craigslist, and I seen an ad. It's like, you know, looking for actors, models, said the dress and all that. So I'm like, you know, let me check this out. And I went to Manhattan, this big building. I don't remember what address it was, and I walked in. It was the guy, you know, Brad. You know what I'm saying? He took my photos. Hey, you know, go next door. It's a guy named Mike. And I walked in. I met you. So it's like how I look at it is like it's like a domino. It's like, you know how you got dominoes lined up. One knocks down the other, and it keeps going. That's how I look at my everything's a process. And I know people that get into acting, and it's like I'm gonna get to acting now. They got no experience, and then within first year or two, it's like, oh, I'm not booking the work, or I quit. It's like it's not supposed to be easy. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta let me speak. I'm
It's
gonna forget what I was saying.
it's a process.
Okay.
So it's like to end it on this note, like
No, pause. You're not ending because I'm just gonna ask you to say something.
I always been the type of person, from my experience now, just doing this as long as I've been doing, to hustle, grind, and put myself out there. Like I did a movie in Cali, and it's like I went over there. I took the trip and went over there. I didn't make excuses. One thing I say to people: excuses don't make results. You know, I know a lot of people that want to act, but they don't. They won't even come over here to come on the show. Oh, it's too far, or something like that. Like stuff like that. That's like, if you really want that, you're gonna go out there. You're gonna put yourself out there. You're not gonna make excuses.
Okay. Now, from listening to what you're saying, don't take this the wrong way, Juan. All right. I hear some misconceptions, right? And I hear words that you may use one word where I would use a different word, right? Or you might be saying it one way where I would say it another way. Now, I don't want you to be, I'm not trying to offend you or anything, but you know, I'll always be your big brother in the business. You know, if I tell you something, you can take it to the bank because I could never lie to you. So, there's nothing wrong with being ambitious and getting work on your own, going out and keeping your head on the grind and submitting yourself for auditions. And you know, to take on an agent doesn't mean you're looking for help. It doesn't mean that you looking for somebody to give you something. No, the the agent is all part of the system. There's a system, right? And it's just like when you go to the doctor, right? Normally you got to get a referral from another doctor, from your primary doctor, to go see the specialist. But when you go see the doctor, when you first walk in, you got to see the triage nurse, right? Because the triage is there. She take your temperature, right? She say, "What's wrong with you?" Right? And then after that, you see the doctor, and the doctor check you. Then the doctor move you on, right? Yo, well, you need glasses or whatever, right? And acting is the same process. So you knocked one of those people out of the process, and you've been doing their job. So you're missing out on a whole dynamic of the business by you doing the work of two, okay? Because you're thinking of the word. It's just a misconception. It's the agent's job. That nigga's getting paid. A lot of agents are richer than the clients. You know what I'm saying? So basically, when you walk into the movie business, they have a whole high nonchalant. They have the Paramount Pictures, TriStar. They have the big money budgets, the distribution deals. You know, and it comes down to the writers, and the writers have directors. You know, but when it comes all the way down to us, the actors, we don't know them. They don't know us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they have agents. You see? So when you get one of these Hollywood agents to rep, it's a totally different ball game.
I agree.
But see, what I feel is like this. All they need, a director just needs to see your talent. You know what I'm saying? If your goal is to become filthy rich and famous and be a big movie star, then you're going to have to go, you have to be famous. You got to get hit. You got to hit the main people. That's why I said you need a break. Like somebody that's connected, that is at the Oscars, that's at the Filmmakers Awards, that can say this guy's an up and coming director, up and coming writer. He's the future. You know. That's the break. That's all it really takes is an elbow to hit.
But you never know when that break could come.
Yeah.
now, 5 years from now,
When that
15 years from now.
no,
I
but no,
just tell
let me
people
finish.
it's like don't lose sleep or break your head over that.
Yeah,
Just
I know, but you're giving advice. I hear you. Okay, Buddha bless you. No, what's I got it mixed up. I meant to say, well, who's the man from Star Wars? The little smart boy with the ears. Never mind. What is his name? Yoda. Yoda.
uh,
He just went Yoda on me. I understand, but what I'm saying is, for you to be multi-talented, you gotta be around the people with the money, the big people like Tyler Perry and Oprah, and anybody affiliated with them, and the Spanish TV people, you know, all of them, Lucha, all of the you know, they, I, I'm in the union, so I get invited to shows. I get invited to what they do. They have one thing called the Conversations, and it's on YouTube. You can look it up, the Conversations, and they talk to different stars, and the stars tell about how they made it and everything. And then they have this thing called the Business, and they have seminars. I'll invite you because I know you got to come from Jersey, but I'll let you know if you like one and you want to go. You let me know. But they have seminars where they like the Reverend when my man did the Reverend, um, they show the movie and then the stars come out on the stage and sit and answer questions and stuff. So you know they have award shows for up and coming writers like you. People for what you're doing, the union is endorsing y'all. They helping people do their own movies. Why not? Why turn down the same people that you need to get picked up?
who turns him down?
I'm saying don't. I'm
Well, I never
saying
said I turned him down.
don't tell
I
them
just said I'm
down.
working. I'm doing what I'm doing. I never said I turned him down. If the right agent comes, cool. But
Yeah.
it doesn't. I
It's
don't
not
have it.
just the agent though. You need
You
an
know,
agent. The
I
agent,
want
yeah,
him because
I would definitely connect you to an
you
agent.
brung up agent. So it's like since you brung agent, like
Yeah,
I,
you need
if
an
the right
agent.
agent comes, cool. Like just like the right
Yeah.
opportunity, I'll take it on.
As
But
a writer, you need an agent.
for me, I'm just like my mind says like I'm working. As I'm working and what I'm doing is working for me, meaning I'm working. Like I did a movie in Cali. Like I'm gonna say that I did a full feature film. I was filming
Yeah, no, I think I saw
for a
some
whole
pictures
week
of
out
you.
there. I was filming, and I never worked in Cali, so I'm working with uh, actors from out there and all that. So it was like for me, it was like that was a whole experience. So it's like I got that just by being at the right place, knowing people, and not making excuses. Pretty much putting myself out there.
Well, with an agent, you'll travel back and forth to
Yeah,
LA.
and I have no problem
You
traveling.
know, but I'm saying if they want you, I
Yeah,
mean, when I did Lean on Me, right?
yeah.
Remember the fat kid,
I
the
forgot
one
his
that
name.
was a pain in the behind,
What's his name? I forgot his
and
name.
Hopkins,
Yeah.
right? He went to
He was
jail
in the
for
movie
real though.
Juice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
him. Yeah. So he was a pain in the behind on set too, in real life. He's a cool dude.
yeah.
He very, he make you laugh. He was funny, but I introduced him to my agent, and my agent got him a reading in L.A. for the Red Fox show before Red Fox passed. And that's the thing about. See, the thing is this: let's say you're this. I talk vivid. I see things vividly, right? So here it is. You got Picasso, right? And he's living over the church in this little in this little part of the castle, right? And all he does is sit there and paint. First, I was thinking is here we are in Spain somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And you see the lake, and you're looking out through the castle window, and you just sit there and you read, and you write scripts, and you write scripts, and by accident, someone's looking for the priest or whatever, and the priest says the only answer for you is to talk to our writer. And the priest sends the guy to your little cabin, and he knocks on the door, and you come over, and he reads one of your writings, and he says, "Oh, this is fantastic. This is fantastic." He's like, "I know people all over the world that would love to hear your writings. You could be famous. I'll do the work. I'll go and I'll just spread your word everywhere." and you say, no, I want to do it myself. That's the same as saying I don't want an agent. Because that's the agent is the one that just read some of your work.
Yeah.
It's like seeing your monologue.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I need to get you known to everybody. And you say, no, I'm going to do it myself. Because you
Yeah.
can do it yourself. I get it. But I bet you that agent know more people.
Yeah, of course.
So,
I don't know who would say no to that.
I would like to, what I want you to do is I want you to be, well, you are as far as I'm concerned. You're the member of my ensemble, okay?
Yeah.
You're one of my, you're one of my first actors. So I'm doing the ensemble. You can help me put it together. You know any actors that's good?
I'm trying to bring people to you.
Bring them to me.
Not to name people, but
I'll interview them right there.
like I got a question, and this is just I want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about actors, right? That they want to act, I'm an actor, I want to act, and then they get opportunities, like let's say to come on your show,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll turn it down because they don't want to travel 30 minutes to New York. Like that
Mm-hmm.
for me is like mind blowing. It's like you're an actor, but you don't even want to travel. Like you have restrictions within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know actors that like I'll offer them opportunities from maybe directors that are looking for actors, or even to come on your show, and they'll
People
say,
from Jersey don't want to come to New York.
and they live like 25
That's
minutes from the city,
ridiculous.
and I'm like, so you want to be an actor, but you don't want to travel 25 minutes to the city. So how you an actor? How you even gonna even get
New York transportation is expensive.
well, listen, I'm from Jersey.
And it costs
man.
money to drive over the bridge. And
I mean,
I remember when I was in Jersey, you never came to my place in Jersey, right?
Nah, never. I didn't know you
That's
lived
when I
in
left.
Jersey.
Because after I left where I was on 98th
Yeah.
Street, I moved to Jersey.
What part?
The Jersey City.
Oh, that's where I'm from.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I came over there and I had a nice
Yeah.
place.
Nah, I know actors from Jersey that they're like
They refuse to come to New
25
York.
minutes from the city, right?
Mhm.
And they'll turn down stuff just because they don't want to travel. And I'm like, how you want to be an actor? I did a movie in Cali. That's way farther. And you complaining about Jersey and New York, which is like literally right there.
Mhm.
Like, it's mind blowing for me how some people just
Well,
like.
if sometimes they do shoot in Jersey, but anybody that lives in Jersey that wants to be an actor better get used to the fact that they got to come to New York.
yeah.
It's all
the
a
stuff
part
I've
of being
done,
an actor is in
like
New York.
95% of stuff I've done has been in New York.
Yeah.
I've been in like all over.
Very rare
I've learned,
does a band bring you
like,
to New
yeah,
York.
I've learned about New York just coming out here and doing projects. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in Queens, Brooklyn. I don't know anything about none of these parts, but I've
Mm-hmm.
learned just because I know some of the shoots are in these places and I have
Mm-hmm.
to go. I can't, I'm not going to go because it's far. Like, then how I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do this? How I'm going to even get a chance of being on this film or
Mm-hmm.
come on the show or this and that? Like, I had to take an Uber and public transportation all the way this
Well,
way.
see, let me explain something, right? That's why it's good to get every component of the chain together.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, you don't have to have the manager and the agent, but sometimes you have a mentor,
Yeah.
you have an acting coach, you have an agent, you definitely have a photographer to do your headshots, right? You have a video person to do your reel,
Yeah.
right? Editor. But then you have the connections that's in your pocket, but you also have your niche because your face tells a story. Every actor's face tells a story. So I'm starting my academy. I'm starting to do everything because I have the space. I have everything. I have the show. I have the space from the show. I have my place. I'm doing everything I want to do. The director's role, the writer's circle, the ensemble, the actors. I'm doing everything. So I know a director wants to see you scared. Either it's a horror movie, they want to see you shoot somebody, right? Either you're the victim or you're the hero, right? So I'm going to make reels for people. We're going to take scenes from real movies and reenact them. But see, what my school, my academy, is built on you, your niche. I'm not going to have you doing Shakespeare and stuff that has nothing to do with what you look like. You know what I'm saying? Because you know they're going to stereotype you, right? So one of the good things about you is that you have a look that can transform, and you can be almost anything. You can switch from Spanish. Did we talk about this before?
Yeah.
You can switch to What is another one? You could be a Habib.
Uh, Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern. Yo, you put that whole Muslim thing on,
Yeah.
forget it. See, me, I give you a scene with each one of those characters.
I just feel like a lot of actors that, you know, are in the business and pursuing this, they put too many restrictions with themselves and make too many excuses. And it's like, how you expect to go like from here to here if you don't even want to do something simple like travel 20 minutes, or it's just like I've noticed. I don't know if you have seen or
That sounds
experienced
like
it.
stress that comes from working behind the scenes. Getting
No,
people to
it
show up at one place is a
it
hard
just
thing to
it's
do.
just I seen people that I know
Trying to get people together for
like
your
that
shoots.
bunch of stuff, or just me being an actor and it's like I'll know a filmmaker that's looking for actors. I'm like, all right, let me see if I make calls. I'm like, hey, yo, you want to do this movie? No, I don't know. I ain't really trying to go to New York. It's too far. And I'm like, what? Like, you're like 30 minutes. Like, that's your excuse? It's just stuff like that as I look at it, like, people, it's like they hold themselves back. Pretty much are making excuses. I don't make excuses. Every time you told me to
Well,
come
I
to the
never
show,
had a problem with you.
every time
I'm
you told
telling
me
you.
to come, every time you told me to
used to come
come,
rain, sleet, or snow.
yo, I didn't make excuses. If I
No,
told you
you
I'm
don't
gonna,
make no
if I tell
excuses.
you I'm gonna be there,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
That's
Like,
true.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't make excuses.
Well, see, can I say something? I mean, for instance, I can't make excuses for people either. And the thing is that a lot of people have to have that drive to go and get wet, get cold. I mean, I got invited to the Christmas party that year when I worked for Joy Todd because I did this movie Shock to what was it? Shock to the System, or was it? Well, Mick Jagger. I met Mick Jagger. Sat next to Mick Jagger. He don't drink or nothing, and Bill Nunn and everything, and I froze my ass off because it was freezing cold. We was out by the bridge in January. The water was ice.
Part of the
You know what I'm
game.
saying? And they wet in the set. I'm playing a homeless person laying there in a puddle of water, and my clothes is wet and turning into ice
And you gotta stay there until it's
for
done.
16 hours. Yeah, I
They
worked
don't-
They kept putting me in the wardrobe room and putting the steam on me, literally throwing me off. And they changed my outfit. I had like 16 of the same outfit with the same holes and everything, playing a homeless person.
Oh, like you said, you gotta have.
After that, she was giving me speaking roles.
You gotta have the drive. A lot of people don't got the drive. If they don't want to travel 20,
yeah, but coming
20
to New York is a nightmare. When you talk about the transportation in New York,
it could be,
but see, once you start working,
this is where the business is at.
once
though.
you can get transportation.
Yeah.
Like on set, they have pickups. You know, if they
Well, if you
take
coming from Jersey, you
if
still
you
gotta
telling
get it in
them
Manhattan.
if you telling them that you're coming from Jersey, that's different.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who live in Jersey lie and say that they live in New York, and then they get called for a job that's in New York, so they got to come to New York.
Like you said, you gotta have the drive. And there's a lot of people like they don't have that hunger. They're not willing to make sacrifices for their craft. Like they'll make sacrifices for everything else. Like you know, whether it's like their relationship with their boyfriend or girlfriend. They'll make time for all the other stuff. But when it comes to their craft, they make 1,000 excuses. Oh, nah.
Well, let's change subject a little bit. But I no disrespect. But you're right. But when you really think about it, as an actor, you do more than that. It's not just about bending and going with the wind, and going from New York to LA. I mean, from Jersey to Manhattan. You really have to be willing to be a chameleon because you gotta play the roles. You can't be afraid to get wet or to fall in the mud.
Yeah.
You know, or to be set. Well, I won't say set on fire, but look like you just got
Yeah.
set on fire. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to bear your soul as an actor. You're supposed to be sincere, you know, and open up. But you have to be. You're supposed to challenge yourself more and more and more. But the thing that makes you famous or makes you a star is that people see your vulnerability. When they see you going through these trials and tribulations and how you deal with it, It's how they identify with you. Like, if you was playing Raging Bull, right? If you was a young um, Robert De Niro, right? You know what he did, what he went through for Raging Bull? That there's method acting is what they was calling it. You see how he gained all that weight? What he had, how he changed his diet and eating and everything?
He became the role.
Yeah,
He became,
for the character,
yeah,
right?
the character.
Do you believe in method acting? Do you agree with method?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're playing like a role where you have to like I look at it as acting, it's like you become that role to a certain degree. You have to. It's like you are you, but then you're playing this character, and to make that character believable, you have to be that. You have to be that. It's like what's the guy in the movie Shining?
Jack Nicholson?
He had to play that nutcase. He had to be crazy.
Method.
He has to be that. You remember that when he was behind the scenes when they're getting ready, he's jumping up, getting us ready, with the axe and all that. Like you have to
Yeah,
find.
there's a clip of him and the clip about being a what is method acting. They show him in that same exact scene you're talking about.
Yeah, he's
When
jumping.
he grabs the axe and
That-
then he
that's
decides to
yeah,
start hitting the wall.
before they even say action. He's just
Yeah.
already in that mode.
Yeah.
Is that you got to find something. What is it that you have, or what can you do to get yourself ready? It's like it's like a professional boxer. Before he's going to the ring, he's already in that mode, like already thinking, he's like getting ready. It's the same thing with acting. So it's like you have to be able to tap into that inside, like be able to let that out and bring that out and pretty much become that role, pretty much.
See, with me, when we was doing my class, we did mostly monologue study, but I always talk about dramatic pause, and I know I talk about activity, state of mind, objective, introduction, happening, conflict, climax, ending. But at the end of the day, it's all about sincerity and bringing the emotions to the surface. And a good script will take you there. But I agree with a little bit of all of it. All of them. Meisner, Stanislavski, Stella Adler. I agree with all of them. I think that you got to do what will help you for that role.
Yeah.
Some roles are more extraneous and demanding than others. Me, I always believe in using my real life.
Real life experiences.
Yeah, I take on what I've been through because I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot, so I can if I need to cry, I know where to go
It's like
for
you,
that.
you know where to draw from. Like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like you have this basket, you have everything in there. You know what you need. You need to pull this out. Whatever you need. It's like your experiences. That's you tap into those experiences. Whatever it is that you know.
So I want to make a circle of actors. You can help me find the actors. They can come and rehearse at my place, and we can put together a show. And then we can do the show. We can do it here. We can do it on camera. We can do it on. We can videotape it, and then we can send it out to everybody. Lincoln Center, to producers, directors. We can, we can we can rehearse at my place, and then set a day, and actually invite the agents to come here. I want you as a friend, as a coach. I want you to experience what it's like to have a Hollywood agent. It's kind of like, I'm like, come here, my son. You've worked hard enough. It's time to get your reward. It's time for your blessing. It's all right. You put the sword down, okay? The battle has been won already. Now you need them to start sweating you and funding you and giving you money for all of your shoots. We need to be having lunch with Spike.
Sounds nice.
You know, Columbia Pictures. But you can't just go knock on Columbia's door. You gotta know somebody and know Columbia. And
That's like people that say, "Hey, why don't you apply for Netflix?" Like you're supposed to just walk into the Netflix building. Hey, can you give me a role? Like it don't work that way. People don't
Yeah.
understand. It does not work that way.
But you know, it's like as a writer, you can have an agent
Yeah.
as a script writer. The William Morris Agency, they represent writers. Boom. It's just even as an actor, you get an agent. As a producer, I know they got like a crew, you know, but I know they all have unions. There's a directors union. If I say to you, what is it you want to do? Because you know, jack of all trades, right? But which one will you master? What's your first title?
Actor.
Good answer.
That's what I am first. Actor.
We need to smile at the camera. Smile at the camera. Actor. Okay.
Actor. I'm an actor.
Okay.
I'm an actor's actor. And for me, like, how can I say this? We live in a social media age now, right? Where everything you see all social media, TikTok, Instagram. I've been acting before that ever existed. Like when
Now
I
you
met,
sound old. You're not that old.
no,
What?
but it's true. I started acting in 2005. There was no such thing as Instagram and none of this
Yeah.
TikTok and none of these damn technology
Right.
stuff was not as advanced then.
Right.
So it's like I come from really taking acting classes,
With me, yeah.
auditioning, like
Yeah.
everything that an actor does.
You worked on sets too, the regular
A
sets,
lot,
right?
yeah. I worked on shows, Blue Bloods, Person of
Blood.
Interest. Like I've done it all. Travel and worked on the cold just like you. Like damn, 14 hours. So it's
Yeah.
like like I come from that. So it's like yeah, we live in different times now.
So you could say that my information paid off.
It helped, yeah. Everybody's information that
I mean,
got.
I told you about casting networks.
You told me
and all
about
that.
casting. You want to know what's crazy? I told people like that want to get into the business, I want to act. How did I get work? And I give them that one site that you just mentioned.
Casting
I give them
networks.
casting networks.
And they all
these
work.
people, no, these people, they'll be like, oh, you got to pay.
They refuse to pay
Bro,
for
it's
casting
$25. It's $25.
See?
And they'll make that, and I look at that, you don't want to be an actor. Because you make an excuse about paying $25. And look, I've used that. I book roles on that. I got work for the ID Investigation Discovery Channel and gigs that paid me on that too. So
That's
it's
the
like,
best way in.
So
That's
it's
the
like,
best.
that's,
I hooked a
always,
lot of people up.
when people ask me that want to get into business, yo, how do I get work? I would give them that one site. Because
Yeah.
if you can't do that and you don't do that, then you prove my point.
They wasted their own
you know
time.
what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to pay $25
Yeah.
for a subscription to submit yourself,
For like unlimited jobs.
you're complaining about that, but you want to be an actor.
For like real fly jobs.
That's
too.
when I know like you ain't
Principal work
wasting my
and
time. Like I
background
ain't
work.
got time to waste. I'm giving you something and you saying this. You don't
So
want to
imagine the
$25.
stress I go through
I can
trying to
imagine.
convince people to do what they need to do for themselves.
You gotta let people be sometimes.
And
man.
then as soon as you tell them a price, they think they own you because they pay that little chump change or they take you for granted. It's just weird stuff that goes with teaching. So you think it's better to learn from going to school or to learn from experience? That's a trick question. Do you jump right into the job without learning the job and then learn while you're on the job? Or is it better to go to school first and then get the job? Which is better? Do you learn from experience or do you learn from school? Which is the best teacher?
Like acting school,
Anything, life, period.
I think life is the best teacher from my experience. When I got into acting, I didn't know nothing about acting. Never went to school. I just learned from just like my experiences, being on set, meeting people like you. I just like a sponge. I just soak up and I learn, and obviously I learn from my own personal experiences. You know, we all make mistakes along the way. Like, damn, I should have did this instead of doing that. But it's like, like yeah, school could teach you, of course, but I feel like life and the experiences, good and bad, that you go through in life, shapes you up to be who you are. You know.
Okay, I just got a vision, right? Because you know I speak in vision. It's like this, right? You on the frontier. It's snow everywhere, right? You got a bear skin coat on, and you got weapons to protect you, right? You got a knife here, you got a knife here, you got a hatchet hanging on your back, right? You know how to move like the animals. You can listen, you know their sounds, and all of that extra shit is what you get from school, right? The knife. That's those the knowledge that you get in school is weapons that you can use for when you are out there on the frontier. Now, how good you are with those weapons. Because a nigga can take your hatchet
Yeah.
and your knife and cut your head off with your shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. This is not for kids. See, how to use those weapons comes from experience. How to survive in the wilderness comes from experience. The wisdom that comes from experience. See, you can get smart enough to have the weapon, but that shit don't mean nothing until you get on the set and the director says action. All that stuff you learned in school better come to your rescue when we say action. So when I ask somebody how much school they have, all that tells me is how many weapons they have,
Yeah.
right? And how much they've been prepared. See, because school is supposed to give you a place to practice. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So that when you do go do your thing, you don't look like you've never done it before, or like you don't know what you're doing. So school is really just to make you better at what you do,
Practice.
right?
Training. Yeah.
Now the thing about school, when it comes to acting, is that there's a lot of fake ones out there that be getting people, and I
Yeah.
won't say their names, like the powers that be, you know, or how could I mess with this one? I can't without telling the name of
You
the
don't have
company.
to.
But you know the
I
names of the
get you.
company. The ones that
Yeah.
tell you, yo, it's $500, you got 500. Then they tell you, oh, it's $3,000 for 6 acting lessons.
Yeah.
You gotta go take a boat somewhere. See, a director needs to see your niche. If you John Belushi and your niche is being big and stupid, if your niche is you Jason Statham and your niche is beating niggas up, you know, if you Arnold Schwarzenegger and you built like a tree and your niche is playing an alien, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your niche is, that's where the work is gonna keep coming. If you Samuel Jackson and you loud, then you gotta find your niche, right?
Yeah.
So then we gotta see your niche in different situations. That's all directors want to see. Real people in real situations. So they create the situation. Good guy being forced to turn bad. Every time we think he's out, they pull him back in. Trying to take care of his kids, right? Being good to his girl, you know, and gets in the wrong place at the wrong time. Some nigga puts him in his bag and he end up going up for 5 years. And he come home and still ain't getting no respect. You know what I'm saying? That's what you look like, right? So that could be your niche.
Yeah.
Or we can switch character. Your niche is switching characters. I'm telling you, because you can play an Islamic brother and you can play a Muslim, an Islamic and a Jew, right?
Well, when I first got into acting and I first started doing this, like my first role, I played a drug dealer in the movie
Right.
Van Boys Park,
Right.
and it was like, and I started doing a couple of stuff that was like gang member, thug,
Right.
and then I had people telling me, who like, these are the people on the outside, they're not actors, they're not the business people on the outside. All you play is gangsters and thugs. So I
But
was
you're
like,
not a gangster thug type at all.
So I took that personal. I was like, okay, I'm gonna show you that you're not gonna put me in the box. You're not gonna typecast me like
See,
that's all I could play.
But they are gonna typecast you. You have to
Yeah.
embrace that.
No, like what I'm trying to say is like I could play the gangster thug, but I could do this, I do this. If
Well,
you
also
think,
show that you could do the other stuff
if you
too.
think that I could only do this, that's when
Right.
I'm gonna show you that I
So
know.
that you could be vulnerable.
Like, question, what do you, and this is something that I have in my mind a lot because it's like something I dealt with, and I'm sure that every actor has. When you first got into business, from your experience,
Mhm.
did you deal with people on the outside? When I mean people on the outside, like people that are not in the business, that see you getting involved in the business, and maybe down talk you, belittle you, hate on you, say like
What?
this, that. Because I've been dealing with this for 20 years, and I
Yeah,
still
hell
deal with it
yeah.
now.
I still
and,
deal
and it'd
with
be
it
like
now.
family members or so-called
I
friends.
deal with it. Even my
that they're
people who live in the
bad,
same.
they
Not where I
talk-
live now. Right
Yeah.
now, I moved into a luxury high rise.
Yeah.
Right, and I've already gotten shitted on already, and I think it's because I'm lean on me. But hell
But they
yeah,
find every way to
dude, I
discredit
got
you.
beat up. Niggas jumped me. Niggas robbed my house twice. Took my furs and stuff. Talk about hating. I got punched in the face with my own Walkman. Dude tried to knock me out with my own Walkman because I had a white girlfriend.
Yeah.
She like a Barbie doll. Barbie. That name was in my mind earlier. Barbie. Barbazon. That's why.
Because when I first got involved in
I
acting
see.
and I started pursuing this,
Uh-huh.
I had people who,
Hate on you. It's okay to say it.
hate, not only hate, doubt me, and pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
you're an actor? Get out of here. Like,
Yeah, because they automatically think that you dreaming, you pipe dreaming.
Yeah.
What are the chance
so
of hell
I-
of you actually
this is
making it?
this is me in the past before I done anything. When I just said this is what I'm gonna pursue.
But all
People
you really
would-
need is a
people-
script that fits you
People
and a
would tell
director
me,
to see
you're
you.
an actor, you don't even got no personality. Like, I have family members.
Somebody told me that. My aunt, she
For
just,
real?
God bless her death, she just passed
I,
recently.
I have
She
family.
told me
I
that
have
when I was
family
younger.
members that would say behind my back, and these things I would hear,
He
like,
ain't got no personality.
oh, he ain't got no goals. He got no like this that or acting. He wasting his time with that. He needs to give that up. And these are people that's like yo,
Yo, they called me gay.
like
They used to
on
make
like
fun of me because I used to wear leg warmers.
yeah.
I used to take dance lessons. And you know, when I went to school, right, I went to Talented Unlimited,
Yeah.
right? And TU had a little bit of it's still here now, but I went back in the day when it was with Julia Richmond High School at the biggest stage. And I took dance, I took acting, you know, I took drama, I took music, I took the trumpet,
Yeah.
ballet. I did a little bit of everything. So, because I couldn't make up my mind. I was bouncing all over the place. But I used to wear tights and leg warmers. And I used to, everywhere, when I came out, I guess I did look like a tutu. Because when I came out the building, I was always running and jumping. And I had a routine. I would jump off the building and strike a pose in the air, right? And then take off to the store, because my grandmother used to always send me to the store. And I went to elementary school right there. I was dancing in the elementary school. Then I went to junior high school. I was dancing in junior high school. And the same thing at Junior Richmond, you know?
The same people who doubt you, hate on you, and pretty much don't believe in you, be the same ones that see you in person and say, "Hey, I see you doing your thing."
They catch the
I
vapors.
know you do. You see me doing my
They
thing.
call
You
that
like,
catching
like,
the
oh,
vapors.
what's up? What you been? How's the acting thing going? Like, don't
After a while,
worry.
you just don't tell them
Man,
nothing.
I don't tell them
Mind
nothing.
your
I don't
goddamn
say
business.
nothing. I look like if you're not an actor, if you're not a film director or any in the business,
But you know what I did?
You on the outside, so I don't care about your opinion.
Niggas was hating on me, but I turned it into money. I started charging people money
I use it for
to
motivation.
put them on.
Motivation, man. Like,
And I made a business
like all
out
the
of it.
doubters that I had when I first
can't
got
tell
into
myself
all
on
the
the
doubters
air.
that I had when I first got into this, all the comments that was said to me through the years, I didn't take it personal. I kind of just, it was like, okay, I'm gonna take that.
Because you know you're going to get yours eventually.
I'm gonna get mine, exactly. So they told, like, all that, like, you can't act, you ain't got no personality. Oh, you doing that, you need to give that up, or this and that. Or like,
You know, there's something called
So-
karma. But
so-
you know something, hard work pays off no matter how
Yeah.
you look at it.
Yeah.
It may not come when you want it, but it's going to come.
People-
Because there's something called the something of something. I forgot what it's called. I should do more homework. I should have somebody on the
Notes.
side that could look up stuff for me.
Yeah.
But the like the probability,
Uh-huh.
like if you get 8, right, that ninth one
Could hit.
is more likely to hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to hit.
Consistency and being persistent, and it's like people will do anything nowadays to discourage you and stop you. Like they'll see you do something good, right? Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? He's an actor. He got his own show. He's doing this and doing that. And they see you doing something great that they can't do. So they'll try to put their negative thoughts on you and say you can't do something or it's not
Sometimes you
believable.
gotta not let people in your business.
You gotta. I don't tell.
You gotta
Like,
separate your circle.
yeah, so it's like they'll try to discourage.
Yeah, don't
you.
be like me.
They'll try to discourage you by saying, "Oh, you doing that?" Like, oh, like they'll try to like put fear in you because they see the confidence that you're doing something and they can't stop it. They can't stop your confidence and belief in yourself.
Right.
And
Let
I've
me
been
say
dealt.
this. I'm sorry. I want to say this to you while I still got you on the thing. It's like this, right? This is like an atom. The nucleus is you. The nucleus is the talent. That's you, right? And then there's these shells that go around it, right? There's things that go like this, right? So you are the talent. No matter what that talent is, as a writer, that could be the writer. The director, that's the director. It could be the producer, or it could be the actor. Let's say the actor. Even with the actor, there are, if you put your acting on a reel, you being the victim, you being the hero, you scared, angry, happy, sad, scared, crazy. You put together a reel that shows who you really are. Don't even act, be, right? And you take that reel and you show it to the next show outside of you, the agents. And then that person shows it to the next show. In your case, you skipped over the agents. I know, I get it. All right, so for you, you go straight to the casting directors. Casting directors go straight to the producer, right? Same thing as a writer. He puts the script together. He got to show it to the next circle, the agent. Then the agent shows it to a publisher. Then the publisher says, yo, this is great stuff, and they make 1 million copies. Yo, I did with the Hughes brothers, right? The 2 Spanish twins from the Bronx. They did Minister Society. I would love to introduce you to them. They can't say nothing because I worked for them, got paid on the books. You know what I'm saying? My acting showed at the music awards on the big screen during the award show. So I did, you know, it's funny. It's one of my best jobs, and I never talk about it. But it was a music video for Marvin Gaye, the Inner City Blues video.
Yeah.
And you see me, guy in the city with the blues. You see me, I'm like sitting there, I'm crying and stuff. I'm upset because my food got roaches running through it and everything. But anyway, get to the point. It ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, I've been there. But anyway, so they said to me, they said, yo, wow, we finally got a real actor. And they invited me. They said they wanted me to come read for a movie about a guy just come home from Vietnam that ran to a hard life. Dead presidents. They wanted me to read for dead presidents. But that's it. It's not about me. But anyway, they said they wrote the script. They shot the script. And they put the clause that they wanted to shoot it themselves. Got the budget. Shot their Men's Society. Then they said now, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but they said now they got holes in the field grazing. Do you understand? Holes, not equipment. Holes, like women.
Yeah.
In the field. It's like he's saying how rich they are and they got to shoot it themselves.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm saying for you. For each one of your talents, you gotta hit each cell. So when you shoot your stuff, you get a finished piece. You gotta shop it. So what do? You take it and you put it. Let's say you shot the film and the film is done. You throw a party and you send invitations out, send it directly to
Private
these people.
screenings.
They all, and then invite them to see it. Well, see, that's what the union helps you do. The Screen Actors Guild, because you see, another thing is they want you to join.
Yeah.
If you're an actor, you've already done. You might be SAG eligible already. I don't know. I never asked.
I was. They sent me the letter.
Right, you probably still are. So they want you to pay. But see, that's the thing. You tell them that you want to be a director and you show them stuff that you're working on, they can help you. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It's not you asking for help. You letting them do their job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not begging for nothing. You can't get noticed if you don't get noticed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to go to every outlet. When my daughter, right, my firstborn, she's like a genius, basically. But, I'm her father. Of course, I'm going to say she's a genius. My daughter's very bright, a little too bright. That's what happens when you send them to school. But that's another subject for another podcast. But, yeah, when I was young, when we were both younger, I said, yeah, I'm going to give these out to people that I think got the look that might want to do acting, because I had made my business cards. She said, why, Daddy? She said, why don't you just give them to everybody? And there's a lot of wisdom in that, Why select it? Why not just give it to everybody?
Yeah.
And you can try to give wisdom out to everybody. But you can lead people to the water, but you can't make them drink. Yeah. But don't drown yourself jumping in the water to save somebody else.
I agree.
Because they will pull you down. I saved 2 people, and I can't swim. I jumped in the water to save them and almost drowned.
You can't swim?
No, I can't swim. Well, 2 cousins of mine, but I jumped in to save them, and then somebody had to come save us. But I held them up, and I was screaming until they got there. Yeah. But, I jumped in the water, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's how life is. You can't give too much of yourself sometimes, because then you end up with nothing.
Yeah, to touch on that, yeah, I agree. I feel like you say, you try to coach people and they don't listen sometimes, or they don't show up or do like certain things like apply for casting networks. So you give them these resources and they don't even want to do that. It's like, why break your head and kill yourself trying to that's on you then,
I messed up. I had 2 offers. When I think about it, it makes me cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm trying not to. But people don't believe me anyway. But I know I'm not going to lie to you. But P. Diddy got the internship that I was offered. Andre Harrell asked me to my face right there on 140th and Lenox Avenue on the corner of Harlem World. My friend introduced me to him. Told him I was in Lean on Me and everything. I was teaching the kids, because I used to play with the kids right there in the park. I was teaching them stuff in the park. And he told him about me. And the guy said, yeah, wash my car and I'll give you a job. And I said, I looked at it, I ain't gonna lie, nigga was dab. They told me that he had just bought Motown. Yeah. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that Barry Gordy gave up Motown. But I said no, and I sat down and I ate a Frank, and Sean Combs came up the block with buckets and he cleaned his car and he got the internship. And June Ambrose, who was the stylist for the Stars, she offered me a job too, and I didn't go. But anyway, 43 seconds. Yo, Juan, you got to come back, right? I'm talking about to doing some acting. Anyway, you want to say your number so that people can hire you if they want to hire you as an actor?
My number?
Your number, your contact number. You don't want to say your number?
No.
Why not? You don't want to get called? I have a following.
They can email me.
What's your email?
jrican1987 at gmail.com. That's JRICAN 1987 at gmail.com.
The next Al Pacino.
You can find me on Instagram too, jrican201. I'm on Instagram. You see all my work there, all the stuff. I usually post a lot on Instagram, so jrican201.
Michael Joseph, 646-874-6597. Hit the button. We'll finish. Wait, what?